That's how I feel. No used to customization. What's up, y'all? Can y'all hear me? What's up? Welcome, man. Who in here right now? Say what's up. Yeah, get the fuck out my lot. What's up with y'all? If you want to. Hold you too. You will see the following elements. What's up, y'all? Hold on. What's up, y'all? Thank y'all for joining the chat. My bad. I had to go take out the trash. So that's why I was gone for so long. What y'all up to? Sup, not a cash. CTB. Sup with y'all, bro? Shout out. Sup, Deborah, my bad. Sup, Deborah? How y'all doing tonight? How y'all night going, bro? I'm doing alright. I just wanted to get on live. It's okay. That's what's up. Sup, Telly? Welcome to the chat. It's a day for you. What happened today, Deborah? Why been a day? Today wasn't too bad for me either, though. Like today was pretty alright. It was a pretty good day today. I finally got to watch TV because I ain't gonna lie. Like sometimes I don't like to watch TV. I'm not big on watching TV a lot, especially if it's not awakening me or if it has nothing to do with like spiritual awakening. I really don't watch it. But today I was watching TV and I had came across this movie, The Maze Runner. And mind you, I already watched this movie before, but when I had watched this movie, I wasn't awakened at the time, so I didn't really understand it on a spiritual level. I was looking at it in a physical sense. But when I was watching this movie again for like the second time or third time, I can't remember, but I was watching it with my spiritual eyes this time. And the fact that I was watching it with my spiritual eyes, I caught so many things that I didn't before when I had watched it when I wasn't awakening. So the movie's called Maze Runner. If y'all haven't seen that movie, I suggest y'all watch it. Who on here seen a movie called The Maze Runner? Thank you, Deborah, for liking and subbing. Happy to be here, Telly. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. But yeah, who's seen that movie? Not you? Okay, Telly. If you can find a way to watch The Maze Runner, I suggest you watch it. The first one. Watch the first one. It tells a lot. And when you watch the movie, watch it with a spiritual perspective. Don't watch it from a physical perspective. Don't take it how the movie looks, but you have to watch it in a spiritual way to fully understand like what that movie's talking about. But it's a very good movie, and I had actually sat down and watched it today. And when I had watched it for like I said the second time, it really showed me a lot of things that I missed. And a lot of things that we've been talking about today is in that movie. Like the second son, the Christ energy that's rising, that movie basically kind of talks about that. That movie talks about that. Sup, Holloway? Thank you for joining. Is this live 18 plus? Yes, this live is 18 plus. It's not for kids. When I first get on live and they ask me, is this live for kids? I put no. So if you're a kid, get off my live. This is 18 plus. If you're not over 18, you shouldn't be on here. But yeah, this is 18 plus live. But like I was saying, when you watch a lot of movies, you have to really watch them in a spiritual sense. Because a lot of movies that we grew up on, they show a lot of spiritual messages that we missed growing up because we were so in the program, we were so in the matrix system we missed a lot of things that were shown to us. See, the whole time we are here, they was telling us the truth, but they were also telling us a lie. But you got to know what to look for, and you got to have discernment. And when you have that certain discernment, that's when you know and can determine what's the truth from what's the lie. Because they're not going to tell you the truth just straight out. They're going to show you something for you to catch on to it. And you have to discern for yourself and judge for yourself whether this is something that you need to be paying attention to or not. And I think a lot of movies really show us how we are living, but they do it in a way to where people just take it at a, a physical value and not a spiritual value. So if y'all on here watch the movie The Maze Runner, that's a very good movie. And I don't even watch TV like that. So for me to watch TV and say a movie is pretty good, then it's a good movie. Cause I don't watch TV like that. I really don't. But yeah, man, Christ has really been working through me. Especially when I watch a lot of woke movies, Christ be working like overtime, like non-stop. Because as I'm watching a movie, it's like Christ is talking to me, breaking it down scene by scene on what I'm watching. And once you have those spiritual eyes and you spiritually awaken and you can see, past the veil, it's going to make your life a lot harder. It's going to make your life a living hell because you are the one who can see everything. And when you are the one who can see everything, it's like carrying a lot of weight that a lot of people won't understand that you're carrying. When you are a chosen one, when you become awakened, when you choose this path, this is a lot to carry. This is a lot of weight. And a lot of people can't carry that weight. They're too scared to. And the fact that we came down here to help some of these people get back to who they are, that goes to show how strong we are within ourselves. Because I'm not going to lie to y'all, even I have bad days. But the fact that I can come on here and help people who are like me, and I can come on here and speak to people and try to get them to awaken to who they are, that within itself is enough power to just bring a lot of people together. And I feel like, excuse me, y'all, and I feel like a lot of us are so, disconnected from who we are internally because this world really never taught us who we was internally. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that this world never taught us, we had to go searching for ourselves. We had to remember who we were. It wasn't nobody to truly tell us this shit. We had to heal our inner traumas. We had to do all this shadow work. We had to go through so many obstacles and things within our life to figure out who we are. So when somebody try to come to you with some bullshit and act like, they higher than you, they your God, and they feel like they're above you, fuck no. Because once you know who you are, you know that you don't need to serve no God. Because only thing you trying to do is fulfill yourself. You're trying to fulfill the higher self within you, and you're trying to reach higher consciousness. So there's no need to cater to people and their emotions and how they want to view. Fuck how other people want to view you. You have to view yourself in the light that you want to see yourself in. You know what I'm saying? Because different people have different versions of you. It's not one version of you. It's different versions of you. If you go talk to a 3-year-old versus a 15-year-old, you're going to get two different stories and two different versions because those people see you, you know, in a light to where they just see what they see because that's how you show yourself to like certain people. But if you go around somebody else, they might say something different about you. You might be quiet around one person, but you might be talkative around somebody else. Does that mean you fake? Does that mean that you're not who you say you are? No. It's just that you have different ways of going about and being around people and different ways of showing yourself when you are around certain people. Because you can't just show everything to, certain people who are not ready for it. If they're not ready to receive who you are, then they're not going to be ready to even fully commit to you friendship wise or relationship wise. And that's why a lot of chosen ones don't have relationships and friendships because people don't know how to handle us. People don't know how to come into our life and fucking treat us right. They always want to get the upper hand on us. They always want to treat us so fucking unfairly. But little do they know, we are the people that they need to get out of this shit. They've been stuck in this hell for so long. And the fact that we awaken, we are here to show them how to get out of this hell by going within themselves and not going outside of themselves. That's why we are here. And I say that a lot, but it's true. And a lot of people are sitting around here not knowing a purpose and not knowing what to do. And they're going so crazy and they're allowing people to tell them that they are crazy because They have nowhere to go. They have nowhere to run to mentally and spiritually. All they have is themselves. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you got to sit with yourself and understand who you are, and you have to really go through that shit. It's no way around it. It's no way around, being spiritually awakened. It's something you just have to go through. You can't cheat this shit. And I tried to do that so many times. I tried to, get around my spiritual path, but at the same time, I'm always going to end back on my spiritual path because I can never leave it because it's for me. That's what I signed up for. I signed up to do this shit. So if I signed up to do this, I can't quit on it because I already put my, bets in for this shit. So that's why we came down here. We came down here to do the work that people didn't want to do. And they don't want to do the work because they're so comfortable with being indoctrinated. They're so comfortable with being fed lies and fed bullshit. You know what I'm saying? They don't know that it's shit because it's so much shit piled up on it till it looks presentable to them. And it looks comfortable and it looks good to eat. But if you actually inspect that, you'll see that is shit. And I'm not eating that. Hold on. Don't matter how good that shit look. At the end of the day, I'm not eating no shit. And that's what the world has been feeding us. It's been feeding us BS. And a lot of people sit here and take that BS in because they don't know no better. They don't know who they are internally. So they gonna sit there and get full all day off that bullshit. While the ones who are awakening know that that is bullshit that these people are eating. And you can't change a lot of people's mind about what this world is because they feel like for themselves, they've been living here, longer than you, or, they just been living here and they've been living comfortably. They don't even know how to go outside of what they've been taught because no one really taught them how to, or they really never grew up in a family or around people who can teach them how to be them higher selves and who they really are. So that's why you got people like me and other people to come on here and tell you how you are and who you are internally. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us can do that. So I'm kind of done convincing people, about the spiritual awakening. I'm kind of done convincing people about what to do. Because at this point, I feel like I've done all I could. And if you're not spiritually awakened at this point, what are you doing? I feel like you're bullshitting. If you're not trying to reach your higher self, if you're not even trying to ask questions to see who you are. So don't bullshit this process because even though this process feels long, it feels like it's being dragged out. This process feels so boring, so secluded, like you can't do shit. But at the same time, you have to know that the wisdom and the power that you carry is so strong to the point where this world is not really ready for what you got to show. But it's going to come to a point in time where the world ain't going to have no choice but to be ready. And I feel like that time is pretty soon. I feel like the time that Christ is going to reveal itself is really soon. Really soon. Telly said, I had to sit with myself. Yes, that's important. Sitting with yourself is very important. You know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of us, like I said, don't have a lot of friends because we have to sit with ourselves. We have to go within. And what requires going within is being by yourself, being alone. Cultivating your energy and stop allowing people to feed off your energy because that's what people continue to do. Especially chosen ones when we get in relationships, they feed off our energy so much because they never ran into nobody like us. We are the first real person in a lot of people's lives. You don't know that. You are the first real person in somebody's life out there. You know what I'm saying? They never came across somebody like you. They never came across a being of your caliber. So that, of course, they don't know how to deal with you because this is the first time they're seeing a real person. And you are a real person. And real people are very hard to find. That's why we all spread it across the earth. That's why we not in the same central locations, because we are meant to teach and, spread our Christ energy all over this bitch. You just can't spread Christ energy in one area, in one group, in one tribe, You got to spread it everywhere. So that's why our energy is everywhere. It's not just in one place and one location. America is not the only place chosen ones reside. You got chosen ones in different countries, in different places, in different, ways of being. You got chosen ones who not even here yet in the physical. A lot of chosen ones are already in the spiritual. Even us being down here physically, we're still in the spiritual. We just don't see it yet. But it's going to come a time to where we're going to see how we are in the spiritual realm. It hasn't manifested physically yet. So now we're just seeing and feeling, you know, what's around us and how we're being attacked, because we always been attacked. We've been attacked ever since we came out the fucking womb. They've been on the chosen one's ass ever since we came out the womb. We could never stand a chance. And the first thing that they did to us was take our memory. We don't remember who the fuck we are originally. You go up to somebody out there in the streets and ask, who are you originally? Do you know your original self? Do you know who you were before you entered this body? That person gonna look at you weird as hell, because they don't know themselves originally. Just like I don't know myself originally. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I don't. And if I did know myself originally, I probably wouldn't even be in this bitch. To be real, I wouldn't be down here. If I knew myself right now, my spiritual name, I have my spiritual powers, I wouldn't want to be down here. Because I know that there is so much to explore beyond this world and this realm. Y'all gotta understand. A lot of people don't know that it's more to life than this shit. A lot of people live in this world every single day, trying to figure out how to survive, trying to figure out how to do things in this matrix system. And they built so much of a comfort zone here, they scared to die. They scared to leave. You know what I'm saying? They scared to leave this planet because they feel like, where am I going next? But they so boxed in mentally that they don't know that it's more to life than this shit. It's more worlds to explore. It's more things to do than just this life, than just get money, go to a job, and do basic things. And when you try to get people out of their comfortability and out of the habits that they're so used to mentally, it's hard. It's challenging. It is very hard and challenging. You know, what color would I be? What do you mean by that? I'm black. I don't know what other color I would be. I don't know. We definitely have to detach from everything in this world. Yeah. The more you attach to things in this world, the more you keeping yourself here in a sense. Because everything in this world is temporary. Temporary. Once you pass away, you're not coming back to this shit. I hope, but a lot of us not coming back. And the fact that we're not coming back here, we know that this is our last lifetime to get these things right and do everything that we need to do on a spiritual level to take back with us, spiritually. Everything that we learned down here, we're taking that with us to use it. All of this shit is not for nothing. But everything physically, we're going to lose that any fucking way. We're going to lose everything physical anyway. So why hold on to these things? Why attach yourself to these things when you're going to lose physically? I ain't got shit to lose physically. You know what I'm saying? So if anything does get taken from me physically, I'm okay. Because at the end of the day, I know I got Christ. At the end of the day, if I ain't got nowhere to stay, I got a place at Christ's place. You know what I'm saying? Christ's going to take care of me at the end of the day. So we have to stop worrying and stressing about a world that's only going to last. Shit, we could have been in this bitch 5 minutes, but it feel like we've been in here 40 years or 19 years, 30 years, 22 years, however long you've been alive, that's how it feels. But little do you know We ain't been in this shit this long. We probably been in here like a couple minutes, like I said. And we stressing about this shit. And stress is kind of the number one killer. I don't know if y'all know that, but stress kills. Motherfuckers stress themselves out so much so they dead. Nothing else they could do. Cause they spend their time stressing over a life that if you just live this shit instead of worrying so much, it would have saved you a lot more time and it would have saved you a lot more energy. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like living in this place, it wants you to worry. It wants you to go through so many obstacles to stop you from being your higher self, to stop you from evolving to the place where you know that you are. And this world gonna make it seem like you're not at that place when you're already there. You're already in heaven. You're already with Christ. But the world's gonna tell you that you're not with shit if you're not serving this God, if you're not playing by the rules of this matrix. The world is gonna outcast you and make you feel like you're not a part of it. Because you're not a part of it, for one, but also they're gonna try to, demonize you because you're exposing the truth. You're exposing what people don't really want to talk about or people really don't want to speak about. You're exposing that. Even if you don't say anything, your energy and aura field says it all for you. When you walk into a place, your energy speaks first. We don't even have to say nothing to chosen ones, and people all automatically want to speak to us everywhere we go in public. People want to come up to you. People want to talk to you. People stare at you. People try to come by you just to get your energy. You know, all kind of shit happens to us because of the light we carry. And that's simple. And it gets dangerous for us because it's hard to go out and feel everything around you. As an empathetic person, I feel everything. I feel the smallest things. I can feel people pain so well. If you sad, I can feel that. If you happy, I can feel that. If you mad, I can feel that to like times 10. I can feel it. And that's why I like to stay to myself and be secluded because I don't want to feel everybody else's energy. I have my own energy to deal with. I have my own energy that I'm still trying to work on. So I really don't want to surround myself around people who not going to pour back into my energy. If you're not pouring back into my energy, why am I around you? Why am I surrounding myself around people who are not giving back what I give out? If I'm giving you 100, I need to see 100 too. I don't need to see 50 or 75 or 95 on that shit. Or 99. I need to see 100 because that's what I gave you. You know what I'm saying? And people don't play fair. People want to cause so much hell and havoc in your life and at the end of the day feel like they gonna sleep good at night. No, bitch, when you fuck me over, you not gonna sleep good at night. And I'm gonna make sure you won't sleep good at night. And my spiritual team gonna make sure your ass don't sleep good at night. So people feel like we're a joke. People feel like they can just play on our emotions and play on who we are, and they feel like we soft. But ain't nothing soft about chosen ones. We the strongest motherfuckers out this bitch. If you want to be real, we done been through so much shit that you can't tell us nothing at this point. We know who we are. And once you know who you are, you gonna carry that shit like armor. Like a fucking knight. A knight has armor. A knight is not scared to go into battle. You know why? Because it got his armor on. And that's how Christ feels. Christ feels like armor. I can go anywhere and be protected and be safe. Because Christ protects me like armor. I'm ready for battle. And that's what we finna get ready for, the battle. Straight like that. We on the battlefield at this point. And we gotta go through this because this is the only way. This is how we must get back to who we always been originally. We have to have this war on earth to get back to who we were originally. And Christ is going to reveal so much of ourselves to the point where a lot of us are going to run away from it. A lot of us are not going to accept who we are when Christ finally revealed to us who we always been. A lot of us are going to run and hide from ourselves. And if you are that person who's going to run and hide, most likely you too weak. You too weak spiritually. You know what I'm saying? If you're not able to handle what Christ put on you, I'm gonna just say it. You too weak spiritually. And that's why a lot of people are going to run away from their gifts and their powers, and it scares them because they don't know how to tap into it. They don't know how to utilize these things to their advantage and get what they need out of it. So instead, they just fear it and write it off. And that's why a lot of people who get hit with this energy, they're gonna be trying to go to hospitals, the doctors, trying to see what's wrong with them. They're gonna be asking other people like, damn, what's wrong with me? Why am I going crazy? They're gonna be asking their family members, like, what happened to me? You know, what's going on? And they family members so fucking sleep to the point where the family members gonna call people to come get them, not knowing that Christ just revealed himself. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You stepping into who you always been, but you never knew that growing up because you were placed into a world that was trying to sever your connection from Christ and try to keep you down, not knowing your higher self. So when your higher self does get revealed, a lot of people are gonna go crazy and not know what's going on because they don't have that deep connection within themselves. So if you are a part of Christ and when Christ reveal itself and awaken, you're not crazy. You're not going crazy. Nothing's happening to you. The only thing that's happening is the energy is shifting back into our favor, and it's shifting to show us who we have always been originally. And it's showing you the owners of this existence and realm that we live in. So don't fear this shit. There's nothing to fear when you are within the hands of Christ. Christ won't have you fearing nothing. Christ is not going to tell you something to fear you. If anything, Christ is going to tell you something because it's looking out for you. It's trying to protect you from something. But a lot of us don't see it as protection. A lot of us see it as being rejected. A lot of us see it as being, discarded. A lot of us see it as being, alienated and left out. But it's not that. It's the fact that you hold so much fucking power, you don't need a bunch of people around you. You hold so much power to the point where you don't need a legion of people. One of you is enough to tear all this shit down. One of you. So imagine all of the chosen ones coming together. Man, this shit'd be destroyed. This whole world would be no more. They'll literally have to rebuild this bitch. You know? And that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna have to rebuild a lot of this earth because it's gonna be destroyed due to the second son and the great reveal. You know? What's up, Tammy? Thank you for joining and liking the live. Thank all y'all for joining and liking the live. I appreciate that. I really do. But yeah, when Christ finally reveals itself, a lot of this earth gonna be destroyed and fucked up. And a lot of people are not gonna know why the earth got destroyed and fucked up. And that's gonna be the crazy part. That's how a lot of people gonna fall into the trap because they're not gonna remember that Christ hit the earth. And if they do remember, it's gonna scare the hell out of them because they're not used to seeing such big of an energy. They're not even used to seeing things that were fantasy or mystical. A lot of things that are fantasies and mystical, a lot of that shit exists. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things that they try to make seem like are fairy tales actually exist. Those worlds that some of these people create actually exist. But they gonna try to deter you away from that because they don't want you to know that it's more worlds to, the spiritual realm than just this place. It's a lot of places out there that look like this but isn't. So y'all gotta know that this is not the only realm of existence. It's not the only realm of existence. So yes, man, like that's Christ. And when Christ worked through you, I ain't gonna lie, When Christ started working through me, it was something that I couldn't really deny. I couldn't deny the energy because it was just too strong. Christ's energy is strong as hell. If y'all ever got an enlightenment or a download, as they call it, you'll feel the energy like tense up within you, and like you'll feel it all throughout your body, especially when you get an enlightenment. And that's how I know Christ truly chose me, because I don't hear nobody else in my family talking about this. I don't hear nobody else, in my community talking about this. When I turn on my phone, the only thing I see is a lot of spiritual content creators on here. I would never find that in my neighborhood. I would never find that where I live. A lot of spiritual people. That goes to show you how rare we are. You know what I'm saying? Because if we wasn't that rare, everybody around us would be spiritually awakened. If it was that easy to become a spiritually awakened, everybody around us would be. So it's being a spiritual awakened is not an easy task. You know what I'm saying? It's really not an easy task to achieve. Sometimes my head feels like a radio. Yes. And Telly, another thing is, if you sit and listen to, like, if you ever have ringing in your ears, or if you can hear like people talking, because I ain't gonna lie, when I lay down at night and I try to go to sleep, before I kind of like drift off to sleep, I could hear like people talking. And I'm not talking like people outside of my house. I have my TV off, nothing playing. But in my head, it's like I can hear chattering, I can hear talking. I can even hear like different spiritual messages I get sometimes. It'd be like, damn. And that's why I have a hard time sleeping, because my brain is very overactive. I think a lot. Even when I'm trying to go to sleep, I'm always thinking. I'm always thinking about what Christ has in store. I'm always thinking about, what's next for my life. Where am I going after this? What am I doing after this? And I can never really get no decent sleep because I'm always thinking about, the next thing and what life is like outside of this. I'm always thinking like, what is life outside of this shit? When you so accustomed to just this realm, it's like, what's next at this point? You know, what is next? Yes, like a loud buzzing sound. That's how it sounds sometimes. It's like, but I think that's called clear audience. Like if you have the ability to like hear and get spiritual messages through like audio, it's called clear audience. And I think I got that too. Cause my ears be ringing like a lot, especially like this ear, always ringing. My right ear rings a lot. I be hearing like so much ringing in that ear. I be having to scratch it, cause it's like I said, Christ is a very intense energy, and if you can't handle that energy, then it's really gonna show. That's why a lot of people have spiritual psychosis, because when Christ first enter you, that process is very altering. That process is a big change that a lot of people don't realize. When Christ revealed himself through me, I couldn't see the world the same anymore. I couldn't see the world in the way I used to. The way I grew up, I couldn't see the world like that. I see the world totally different. And I ask Christ every day, like, why did you choose me to see this shit? Why did you choose me to, you know, be awakened? You know? And I don't ask Christ in a way that's like I'm pissed off about it. It's like I genuinely want to know, like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why nobody else? But I'm thankful that I did get chosen by Christ to walk this mission and carry out what is, for me. Because if not, I feel like I would still be, I'll be behind. I might still be trapped in this bitch if Christ hasn't awakened me like within the time that I was. Yeah, a lot of many different levels to spiritual awakening. Like a lot. And I think a lot of people don't realize that until they get into it. And once you're already in the spiritual awakening, once you get to a certain point, it's like you can't turn back no more. Cause you done seen too much. You have exposed yourself to so much information and knowledge that you knew, but it wasn't apparent to you at the time when you was, in the matrix and you was asleep. So now that you see these things, it's going to be a battle on you because the devil now knows that you can see through all his tricks. You can see through all the delusion that they got set up for you. And the devil hates you for that. It's like a magician trying to do a magic trick. If you know all the magician's magic tricks and how they perform it, it takes away from them trying to do the magic trick, right? If you know how that magician is doing it, it doesn't really seem magic anymore. It just seems like, well, you know what? It's whatever at this point. Because you know the tricks already. You know how he performed it. You know what he did. So it's not a surprise to you. And that's how it feels awakening. You see the magic tricks already. You know this shit. Because they pull the same stunts. It's nothing new with these people. We are living in a cycle of life. So nothing is really new here. Everything is old, like I said, because you already been here. So it's old. It feels old. It feels like a system that hasn't updated yet. And the reason the system hasn't updated yet is because it's trying to. It's trying to catch up to the spiritual realm. And once it finally catch up to the spiritual realm, then that's when a lot of shit can truly start physically for us. Because right now it feels like we in a waiting area or like a loading screen. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's when a lot of shit gonna get heavy once the physical starts to catch up spiritually. That's when you're gonna start to see a lot more shit happen. A lot. It look like shit happening right now, but it ain't gonna be nothing compared to when you get the eyes to see spiritually, like physically and spiritually. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm kind of, I got a little anxiety about it because I don't know where I'm gonna be at when Christ finally reveals who I am. Like, am I gonna be asleep? Am I gonna be outside, inside? Like, I really don't know. So I guess that's the fun part. I guess that's the fun part. I guess the fun part is not knowing when Christ is gonna reveal itself. Because if you knew when Christ was gonna reveal itself, I feel like we wouldn't enjoy life the same. And even us being awakened, we can't really enjoy life how we want to because we see through a lot. But if Christ was to really give us a final date when it's coming, then it would take away from the spiritual mission and why we down here. You know what I'm saying? You really won't want to do your mission anymore if you knew when Christ was returning exactly. You wouldn't want to finish this shit. And I know that because I damn near don't want to finish this shit now and Christ hasn't revealed itself. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm surrounded by a bunch of people who don't know themselves and who are NPCs. And when I try to talk to them and try to get them to know themselves, it don't go the right way. Let's just say that. It doesn't go the way I expect it to. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I kinda get irritated when I can't, you know, put people on to who they are. But I know that that's not my fault for one, but it's worth the try when you're trying to awaken people because you're so excited about who you are. You want other people to feel that same excitement. Because once you start to reveal, who you are for yourself, you feel excited. You feel, energized about it. You feel like, damn, this is who I always been. I never knew this. So you want to spread that joy to everybody else. You want to spread that because that's how you feel eternally. And you want other people to feel the same way you do about themselves inside. But sometimes it'd be an uphill battle trying to, tell people who they are and who they always been spiritually. They will never believe you. Yeah, we probably will be performing. Truly. And, you know, a lot of this shit is not really easy though. You know what I'm saying? It's not an easy battle. It is really not. But yes. Man, what time is it? 10:30. But yes, man. Christ has truly been working. I can say that. I've been feeling the energy like more intense, especially in these times. Between this month and August, I feel like it's gonna be a lot of shit that go down. A lot. And I feel like a lot of these things that's gonna go down is gonna be very unexpected. Like it's just gonna come out of the blue. Like we ain't gonna really have time to prepare for like what's coming. You know, that's how I feel like that's what I feel is gonna happen between August and some of this month. Something major gonna happen for sure. Cause I feel it in the air. I feel it. Something major. I should have took a nap today. I really should have. That's the thing. I don't even take naps like I used to. And the reason I don't take naps, it's like I really don't be tired during the day. At night, I can really go to sleep sometimes. But during the day, I just be up. I can't really sleep too much during the day. I like to go to sleep at night. I'm more of a nighttime like person. I'm more of a night person. I hate mornings. Like all that waking up in the morning and shit. I hate doing that. Especially early. No. No. Pete. Who is that? Why y'all coming my shit? Like typing that other language. I can't read that shit. Like this I need to put this is an English chat too, cause I can't stand all that other language. You know what I'm saying? I only know English, a little bit of Spanish, here and there, but English, I can't read all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I hate when they do that shit. People from other countries try to come in your life speaking their language. I don't know it. I'm sorry. I ain't got nothing against it, but I can't read that. You know what I'm saying? This is English only live. If you don't know English, Espanol, you don't be on here. This is English. I need to get a mod. I need to get a mod. But what y'all did today? What was y'all day like? What y'all did? I didn't do too much. I think I was in the house like damn near all day. I ain't too much an outside person. Like I don't mind going outside, but like if I'm going outside, it gotta be for a special like reason for real. I ain't gonna lie. It really gotta be for a good reason for me to go outside. Cause if it was up to me, I stand inside all day, every day. I don't know. It's something that's just safe about my, being inside. Especially in these times, inside is where you want to stay. You want to stay hidden, and the reason you really want to stay hidden is because there's a lot of people out there now, especially wanting to feed off your energy, wanting to gain a lifestyle through you, because they come in contact with you, and the fact that your energy and your light shines so bright, and you get so many, blessings and abundance. They want the same thing, but they can't get it in their energy because they're too low. They're too dense. But the fact that we have high energy and we are high energy beings, they want to come to us to feed off of us, to charge up off of us, to go back to the people that they really want to be around. A lot of people that came into my life didn't want to be around me. The only reason that they wanted to be around me is because one, I might have looked good, you know what I'm saying, being around them, or two, they just wanted my energy. You know what I'm saying? That's it. But when you have people who genuinely want to be around you, they're not going to be around you just because you make them look good or you bring something to the table. They're going to be around you because they genuinely want to be around you, because they genuinely see something in you that they can't find in nobody else. And when you see that in somebody, you're going to want to do anything and everything to keep that person around you, because shit, 9 times out of 10, I will not run into nobody else like that person. And a lot of people who did you wrong think like that all the time. They have regrets. And I'm telling y'all, they do. A lot of people who outcasted y'all and make y'all feel like shit, they sitting somewhere right now regretting, wishing that they never did that. Wishing that they never fucked you over. Wishing that they never said the things to you that they said. They living in deep regret. And the only reason that they living in deep regret is because you're no longer around them. That's the karma. A lot of the times, karma doesn't have to be something bad happening to somebody. A lot of the time, karma is just simply you walking the fuck away from toxic bullshit. That's a lot of people karma. You not being around them no more, that's the karma for them. Them not feeding off your energy, them not gaining a lifestyle that they had when you came into their life, them not, advancing how they was when you came into their life, they're not gonna no longer get that once you're gone. Because like I said, they're living in their karma. And the karma is the fact that you're no longer with them anymore. The fact that you took everything with you. All your spiritual energy came with you and not with them. So it's okay. It's okay to let people just live off that little energy that they got, because eventually they're going to run out. I'm telling you that right now. They're going to run out eventually. And notice how every time they run out of energy, they back calling your phone. They texting you. They trying to see you. They trying to be all up in your business. But when they had you, they didn't want shit to do with you. They was calling you all kind of names. They was making you feel all kind of bad about yourself. But when I finally get the courage to remove my energy from you and no longer be around you, then you want to do fucking right. And a lot of us got to learn to just let these people go, because they're never going to change eternally. They're always going to be who they are, because, we keep accepting these people back into our life. So we don't really give them room to change and become a better person, because we are accepting them at their fucking lowest. And it's like, no, I'm done accepting people at their lowest. If you not already at your highest when I meet you, like I'm at my highest when you met me, then this relationship and this connection will not work. You know what I'm saying? Because you will not be trying to drag me down with you just because you on a low frequency and a low vibration. We're not doing that. And I'm no longer settling for relationships and for people who don't have shit to offer me or give me when I have a lot and plenty to give to them. So things aren't really going to work out how you planned them to, or how you thought it was. Because there's a lot of relationships that I thought were going to be long term. It's a lot of relationships and friendships that I thought, we was going to be cool. But once somebody start to really show their fucking ass, it's like at that point you have no choice but to see it. At that point you have no choice but to just let them go, because now they really revealing to you who they always have been, but they just wanted to play this role to get the energy off of you. And that's a dangerous thing. That is really a dangerous thing, to be unaware of how someone is draining you and taking all your energy and using it to build the life that they want, when in fact that you could be building that same life and don't know it. And you wonder why your life not going so well, is because you have so many people in your energy field, in your energy circle, occupying your energy, which you need to be using, but they're using it. So you don't have no energy for yourself because everybody is feeding off and using your energy. So I feel like now's the time to stop that shit. Stop people from feeding off our energies and let go of these people who don't mean us no good. Let go of these bullshit ass relationships. Let go of these, bullshit ass, ways of being and ways of thinking. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of people being so comfortable in what they always knew. It's time to learn something fucking different. Because obviously what you've been knowing is not working at this point. Because if it was working, your ass would be better. But instead, you're doing the same shit. Instead, you're on the same pattern. You're on the same wheel because you refuse to let these people go. Or these habits go. Or whatever you got to let go, you got to let it go. And yes, it's going to hurt. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody lie to you and feel like once you leave somebody who you've been with, you know what I'm saying, for like months or whatever, feel like it's going to be an easy walk away, because it's not going to be an easy walk away. When I had to walk away from a lot of my friendships and relationships, it wasn't easy to walk away from it. And the reason it wasn't easy to walk away from these things is because a part of me that was unhealed was holding on to the things that was no good for me. My lower self still wanted to be around these things because it fed my lower self. None of these things and none of these peoples and places that I was surrounding myself with was feeding my higher self. So I had to let these people go. I had to cut these people off. And yes, it hurts, but at the same time, am I gonna hurt myself even more, or am I gonna, you know, feel this hurt for the moment and then eventually find people who are like me, find people who do want to be in my energy and who do have the energy that I have, you know? And it can get tough finding people who are on your level and who matches your energy, and who can really coexist with you, because a lot of people can't do it, and I've seen that countless of times. I feel like a lot of chosen ones, we get abandoned the most, and it's not really abandonment, it's really like Christ knowing what's really best for us at the end of the day. Christ know that sorry ass man, that sorry ass girl in your life wasn't meant for you. And Christ could not sit there and watch you do this much damage to yourself, do this much harm to yourself, because you scared to be alone, or you scared to let go of these certain attachments. But Christ is going to show you better. Christ is going to show you something that no person or place or thing is going to show you. That's how special Christ is, and that's how special you are to Christ. To the point where Christ will not allow you to sit in that bullshit. Because if Christ allowed you to sit in those toxic relationships and those toxic things, then 9 times out of 10, you wouldn't be the person that you are right now. You wouldn't be as strong as you are. You wouldn't really know who you are, because you always settling. You always settling for something that's not for you and it's not meant for you. And I don't want to see none of my chosen people settle. I don't want to see none of my highly elevated spiritual people settle, because y'all are worth so much. What are we settling for? What are we giving our energy away to people who don't deserve the shit? We could be doing so much better things with our energy. We could be, giving it out to people who really need it and really enjoy it. And that's what I do. I'm trying to focus on giving my energy to people who are worthy of giving it to. And I'm going to make sure you're worthy of giving it to, because my discernment is on 10 at this point. When Christ revealed himself through me for the first time, discernment been on 10 ever since. So, yeah. What Telly said, I can feel when someone's pulling on my energy. Yes, I can feel that too. And the best way to know that someone is pulling on your energy is if you start to feel sleepy all of a sudden. Let's say you went somewhere and you was feeling energized, you was full of energy. You can do so much shit. But when you get around these certain people, or you go to this certain place and be around these certain people, all of a sudden you just start feeling sleepy as hell. Like you done took a 20 milligram melatonin. You start to feel so sleepy. You feel drained. You feel like you don't want to accomplish shit. You feel like you don't want to do nothing. And that's how you know when someone's pulling on your energy and trying to siphon it and use it for their gain. Is because you start to feel tired. You start to feel drained. You start to not achieve the things that you know you can achieve, but due to you having a lack of energy, due to you get your energy pulled and harnessed, you can't achieve it. And then when you look at these people that are around you, they happy as hell. They doing everything. They getting random money. Or this girl might be getting a random partner come out of nowhere. All of because of your energy. That's why this shit happens. Our energy is what keep a lot of shit alive. And we don't know that. And that's why we felt so forsaken in some of these relationships and friendships that didn't mean so much. Because we held all the power, but we just didn't, we ain't know it at the time. But it took you to go through certain relationships with sorry ass people to figure out that you're not a sorry ass person like they are. We all have our flaws, but at the end of the day, you're not as fucked up as them. And you will never be as fucked up as them because you know yourself and they don't. And that's the key difference. The fact that you know yourself. So don't allow nobody to dictate what you do, with you or for yourself because they have no say so in that shit. You're the only one who you can really run to at this point because Christ resides in you. You're not going to find Christ outside of yourself. You always going to find Christ within. And even when you find other people who have Christ within them, it's the same thing. They're not outside of you because they're your spiritual family. They're your spiritual soul tribe. We are not outside of each other. We are all, together in this shit. Not all of us, but the chosen ones are. That's why we have to stick together. That's why we have to stay together and do so much because it's not a lot of people like us. So we all we got at this point. We are all we got. And that's okay. It's okay to depend on yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't ask for help because sometimes you're going to need help on this journey. Shit, I need plenty of help and I still need some help sometimes. But at the end of the day, I know that a part of me still has this independence to where if I really needed to get it on my own, I have to do that, So being awakened has its pros and its cons for sure. For surely has its pros and its cons. It really does. I'm gonna be honest, I never thought I was gonna be awakened. I didn't even know what awakening was. It just kind of happened to me. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. It's like I necessarily wasn't looking for an awakening. I really wasn't looking for it. It just magically found me. And imagine trying explaining to people how Christ revealed itself through you and how Christ runs through you. People look at you weird because they're so used to talking about worldly things to where when you start talking about spiritually, investing topics or deep topics, they confused. They lost. They lost for words because they're not on the energy that you're on. They're not at the level that you're at. And that's the people you have to get away from. The people who don't match your energy levels. Because all they're going to do is drain you. So I try to really surround myself around people who I know have the same energy as me. And that's why I love y'all. I love a lot of y'all on this live. Like Telly, Holloway, KK. And she be on here sometimes. I love y'all because y'all my family spiritually. The family that I have now, they won't understand the shit that we talking about. But the fact that y'all understand this, that goes to show that we are really connected. And the fact that y'all relate to some of my experiences and I relate to some of y'all experiences, that goes to show that we got to be tethered together in some kind of way. You know, because we're never really separated from each other. Even though we feel like we are separated physically, spiritually, we're never separated from each other. We're all together spiritually. But we can't see that because physically we live in apart. But spiritually, we're all together. All together, waiting to be revealed. We're at that door waiting to go through that bitch, waiting for it to open to just everybody go in. And if you ain't get in, and if you wasn't a part of that group that went in that door, you left. You stayed back at this point. You done. You done. And that's how Christ's gonna be. It's either you gonna choose Christ or you gonna choose the Antichrist and go against yourself. And I ain't going against myself for nothing. And that's what this world is setting you up to do. Go against yourself. In every way, shape, and form. If they gotta take your food to get you to go against yourself, they gonna do it. If they gotta fuck with our water for us to go against ourselves, they gonna do it. If they gotta fuck with our money, our material possessions, our family, anything to make you go against yourself and forsake yourself, they're gonna do it. Because they don't want you to reach who you have always been. They don't want you to be in that energy. Because that energy is stronger than the people who are trying to trap you in here. The energy is stronger than the people who are trying to keep you indoctrinated, keep you a slave, keep you working, keep you doing so many things that doesn't serve your higher self. And I know that. And I know that if I just keep moving forward within Christ and I keep going at this rate, I know that I'm going to be all right. And nothing's going to deter me off my path. Nothing's going to, get me to forsaking myself. Even if, the things that I mentioned does happen, at the end of the day, I know that I'm good. I am good. That's crazy. That's crazy. Every time I think about, like, my spiritual awakening, it's crazy to me. Because it's like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Yes, we found one another. We all met up to find each other. And it's crazy because when we got dropped off in this realm, it's like we knew nothing. But now that it's time to leave this bitch, we know everything. Ain't that crazy how we started off not knowing nothing? When you came out the womb, you ain't know nothing. But now that you finna leave the womb again, you know every fucking thing. And this time, you gonna come back 10 times fucking stronger. Because you done been through hell to get the answers that you got. You done been through hell to gain back the superpowers that you have always had. You had to go through that shit. And to make it out of it, and to be on the other side of it, I think that really shows how Christ will never really forsake you. Christ will never let you down. Because Christ knows the amount of strength you carry. Otherwise, Christ won't give you this mission. Christ won't hand you something that you're not capable of handling. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like all of us are capable of handling our mission down here. Even though, yes, it does get tough at times. You may cry a lot. You may, think about certain things. You may go through a little bit of depression. You may go through, thoughts that hunt you. But at the same time, you got to know how to rise above these things because Christ wants you to be at the top. Christ wants you to be in a place of living in peace, and not just peace, but to where you can thrive and not have to worry about surviving in the world. Because a lot of these people that we are surrounded by, we survive with. It's not that we want to be with these people. It's that we are surviving off of these people and with these people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people in our life, we are just surviving with. But if we were around people who are spiritually awaken us and who cater to our spiritual side, we won't have to worry about surviving. Because we know that this physical realm is temporary. So when we get around each other, all we have to do is just live spiritually and thrive. and keep going. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, like, a lot of people around you are, it's not on your level at all. Not. And it's a sad thing to say and it's a sad thing to see, but it's like, damn, people are not really on your level. And it's like you can see it even more. Like I ain't gonna lie, like ever since this year, I've been seeing how people think different from me on a whole nother level. Like, wow. They so physically indoctrinated. It's like I'm looking on the outside at them and I see like where they are. You know, I can see if you are in this matrix. I can see if you still have that 3D way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? All I got to do is look at you or hear you talk, and bam, I already know whether you are Christ or not. You know what I'm saying? I can feel that too. I can feel if you have the energy within you. Because it's a certain vibration that chosen ones give off. Like, if I was to meet one of y'all in person, and like y'all didn't know me, and I was to meet one of y'all in person, we just happened to like cross paths, you know what I'm saying? I would instantly probably recognize that y'all are chosen ones. Because it's a certain way we carry ourselves as chosen ones. You know what I'm saying? It's a certain way it's a certain energy that we give off that lets us know who we are and who we are, you know, within the spiritual realm. It's like a mark that we have. And if you're a spiritual awakened, you can identify when someone has that spiritual mark on them and that spiritual energy flowing within them. And that's why Christ is coming back to reveal itself, so it can mark his people, so it can finally seal the mark of who's coming with her. You know, so that's it. We finna be marked back with the powers we have. And what's the mark? The powers. Our respirations, as they like to call it. But fuck respirations, bitch. We finna get shit better than money. $1 billion, $1 trillion ain't got shit on what we got. Nothing. A new fucking Lamborghini Corvette ain't got shit on what we got spiritually. Our shit so motherfucking brand new. Huh. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy out here. Nothing compares to what we have spiritually, and that's why the world fucking hates us. Because we have a lot that they can't get. They don't know how to bring what they have spiritually into this physical realm like we can. We have a lot of shit spiritually, and we know how to bring everything that we have spiritually into this realm now, into the physical. But a lot of people can't do that, and they can't manifest like that. So that's why I say they use your energy to try to manifest, because your shit powerful. They can't use they little simple Simon ass energy. They shit too low. They shit too dense. That's why they can't, you know, manifest and do shit. But when they get around you, they can manifest the whole fucking world. You know what I'm saying? You just notice how when you go around people, their life start to get better. Their life start to improve. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn. Your life doing so good. But as soon as you leave, they ain't got shit to show for it at that point. And the reason they ain't got nothing to show for it is because the energy that they was living off of, which was you, they no longer have access to it. They no longer have the ability to manifest off of it. And the fact that they can't manifest and live the life that they want to live off of your energy, 9 times out of 10, they gonna leave you the fuck alone. And you wonder why a lot of people just stop talking to you out of the blue. It's not random. They stop talking to you because they no longer have access to your energy. Christ said enough. Christ said, no, you will not feed off of my child's energy. Christ said no. And that's why a lot of people are gone out of your life and are no longer here, because Christ said it's time's up. Time to get these people out, because they no longer serve a purpose to what you're trying to become. You know? So I feel like Christ really does everything for a reason. I feel like I got my YouTube channel, my TikTok channel for a reason. You know? We're going to be Yes, we are going to be able to manifest anything we want instantly. Shit, if you notice, like, if you think of something or you're trying to, like, get something and you keep thinking about it, eventually it's going to pop up in your reality. And I've done this so many times. It's like I could be thinking about something that I want, and out of nowhere, I just kind of get it. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was just thinking about that. And all of a sudden now I got it. Or all of a sudden I see it on TV, or I see it somewhere. It's like, damn, I was just thinking about that. That's another sign of manifestation too. When you're thinking about something and you see it in your physical reality, that's how you know the universe has caught your flow of consciousness. That's how you know the universe has caught what you've been asking for or what you've been thinking about. That's all manifestation is. I feel like people make manifestation seem so harder than what it really is, and it's not. It's like continuously think of something that you want, and eventually it's gonna pop up in that physical reality. You know, it's like a dream. If you go to sleep with a lot of stress on your mind, your dreams are gonna show you what you've been thinking about consciously, because all that shit that's stored in your conscious eventually goes to the subconscious, and your subconscious don't know the difference from this reality and other different realities that your subconscious has created. So the fact that it doesn't know the difference, it's going to grant you what you think about. You know what I'm saying? If you think about money, 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 money all the fucking time, most likely you'll run into some money. And y'all can try this shit. Y'all can really try this. Think about something that you want and be realistic. Don't think about some shit that you know take work to get. Like, come on now. But if you being realistic with yourself and you think about something, eventually you're gonna get it in that physical reality. You know, manifestation is just not all that in a bag of chips. It's something that you can just simply do sitting on your bed, thinking, thinking. And that's all I do is think. I think I overthink so much, it's crazy. You know, it's crazy that I overthink so much. But I don't know. I don't know where I would be if I wasn't awakened. Like, where would y'all be right now if y'all wasn't awakened? Where y'all think y'all would be at? I think I would be like, I don't know. I think I'd be in the wrong place. I think I'd be living the wrong life, the wrong place if I wasn't spiritually awakened. Where would y'all be at if y'all wasn't spiritually awakened? Like, where would y'all be at? Like, where would y'all think y'all would be at if y'all wasn't spiritually awakened? I feel like I would be, I don't know. I don't know. I'd be doing some dumb shit. That's how I feel. I feel like I'd be doing some dumb shit if I wasn't spiritually awakening. And the fact that I'm spiritually awakened, life won't allow me to do nothing like that. Nothing crazy, you know, too crazy. But I want to know, like, where y'all been? Like where would y'all be, feel like y'all would be? Yes. Now that I'm mentioning it, like where would you end up if you wasn't spiritually awakened with Christ? And now that I brought that up, that is kind of interesting question. Like, where would we be? You know what I'm saying? Will we be still with the matrix system, like still living by the matrix system, or will we get into the wrong things? You know, will we stay in the wrong relationships? I feel like if I really wasn't awakened through Christ, I feel like a lot of things could have happened to me, like, bad. A lot of things could have ended bad for me. And I say that because if it wasn't for my discernment, if it wasn't for my ability to judge certain things and dissect certain things, I would have ended up in so many fucked up situations from the simple fact that, you know, I wasn't using my brain, or I wasn't using the discernment, like I said, you know. But now that I'm awakened with Christ, I have the ability to use my discernment now. I have the ability to see through things and see if this is for me or not. But I feel like if I really wasn't awakening, I'll be doing something else. I don't know what, but I'll be doing something else. Yep, that's happening more often lately. Yeah, it is. It is. It really is. But yeah, I really want to know where I would be. You know. But like I said, I'm thankful that I found myself within Christ. Because I'm not gonna lie to y'all, it feels good. It feels good to know who you are. Even though you don't know all of everything about you yet, and you just trying to remember, I feel like y'all should give yourself enough credit. Even if you feel like you're not where you want to be in your spiritual awakening, the fact that you're trying to get there or that you're already there and you keep going, you should give yourself a pat on the back for that. I feel like that is a big achievement in life. To be spiritual awakening, that is a very big achievement. That is something that is very worth celebrating. And chosen ones don't get celebrated like that. And the reason we don't get celebrated is because, like I said, a lot of people that we're around don't know who they are. So how could they celebrate something that they're not even aware of? You know, they're not really aware of who they are, so they will never really see you for who you truly are. And if they do, they're not going to like it because it shows them that they have work to do. And that's how our energy works. Our energy shows people where they got to do work at and where they got to heal themselves and where they got to find the silver lining at in life. You know, that's why we come around certain people to wake them up, to show them that, hey, this is a problem that you need to fix. And if you don't, then shit can really end bad for you. It's like a lot of the times we are people warning. We warn people a lot, but they don't listen to us because it's coming from us. They feel like, damn, why isn't it working for you yet? But little do they know it's not for me, it's for them. And they reject it because of how we look physically. We don't look like a rich millionaire. We don't look high status. We don't look, you know what I'm saying? We don't look a certain type of way, and that's why they don't listen to us. And they don't take heed because they feel like, damn, look how they living. But you know, like I said, you can't really try to convince people. Okay. I think maybe or traveling in the music scene. Okay, Miss Holloway, if you wasn't spiritually awakened, that'd be your choice. Okay. Oh, what Telly said? Telly said she'll probably be at work. I feel that too, Telly. I feel like a lot of us probably would work to death. You know what I'm saying? Because we trying to keep up with this physical reality so much to, what's the point? What is the point? You know, that's, yes, yes. Like, that's how we're gonna feel within this shit. Like, we want to give up. But you always notice, like, something within you will never allow you to give up. Because it knows that you are worthy of this fight. It knows that you are worthy of this battle. You are worthy of the tribulations that are placed upon you. Because if you wasn't worthy of these things, I feel like Christ wouldn't trust us to carry out this energy, to carry out this mission that we have. And I think that's the biggest thing Christ needs from us is trust. Christ needs to know that the energy can trust us enough to make decisions and do things by, the way Christ has it laid out. You know, one thing about Christ wants to build trust with you first. And building trust with Christ is building trust with yourself. So when you start to build trust between yourself, it's nothing that could really deter you because that's why I said the discernment comes in that. Because now you know who you are. Now you know what obstacles and what you are facing and what adversities you are facing. And now you know how to go through these things because 9 times out of 10, you've been through these things before. You just don't remember it. You just don't remember a lot of your past lives and your past selves, but all of your past selves and past lives still live within you. And you still have certain habits and certain ways about you that come from your past life, you know? And you might be wondering, like, damn, where do these certain habits come from? Why do I act this way? Or, why do I seem like this type of person and other people around me seem different? Or they seem like they don't act like you act. It's because you from somewhere different. You're not from this place. And when you fully understand that you're not from this place, you know what I'm saying? On a spiritual level, you're going to do everything to not be here, to not keep yourself limited, because that's what the world wants to do, limit us to so much, limit us. And if you're a chosen one, you know that your energy is way too big to be limited because everywhere we go, we carry this big energy. So it's hard to hide as a chosen one too. It's hard to hide yourself. Even though you may be an introvert, even though you may be quiet, you keep to yourself, at the end of the day, you can't hide the Christ within you because Christ is intense. People feel that. People feel the intensity when you walk in a room. That's why certain people turn their noses up at you. That's why certain people give you looks and stares. And certain people pick on you and say shit about you. They talk about shit that you didn't even notice about yourself. They say, damn, you see that little piece of shit in your hair? Shit that you didn't even see. Shit that you wasn't even focused on. They see it. You know what I'm saying? And the reason that they do this shit is because they feel that intensity. They feel your authority that you have. They feel that your energy is very much stronger than theirs. And when your energy is stronger than theirs, that's when that intimidation sets in. They start to get a little intimidated. They like, who the fuck is this person? And the fact that they get intimidated, they gonna do everything in their power to try to take you down, to try to make you fold under pressure, to try to make you forsaken yourself and go against yourself and make it seem like you are the problem when you're not the problem. It's the fact they get triggered by the energy that's within you, and their triggers are not your fault, but they're gonna seem like that. They're gonna project that onto you. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna try to project that to you because that's how they feel inside. A lot of people talk shit to you because that's how they feel about themselves. They don't feel that way about you. They feel that way about themselves. A lot of people are pissed off at themselves because of the decisions that they made. So the fact that they're mad, they try to take it out on you. They try to, come up with things to just throw you off your path because they ain't on no path. They have no path set. They live in this 3D matrix. This is all that they know, then this is all that they will ever know because they can't awaken to their higher selves. And that's sad to say, but shit, what else can you really do when people don't listen to you or take you serious? Telly said, I get attacked a lot and sometimes it's hard to deal with. Yes, it can be hard to deal with, and it is because a part of us acts like, why the fuck are we being fucked with so much? Like, especially when I was at the beginning of my awakening, I didn't understand why would people fuck with me so much. Like, why do people feel like they can just mess with me and I won't do nothing? You know what I'm saying? But little do they know, they only fucking themselves. Attacking you is attacking themselves. And that's why they attack us so much, because they see themselves. They see the unhealed version of them. They see the person that they will never become because they don't know how to access it. Because they're so full of ego. That ego is what gets in the way of them trying to access the higher selves. A lot of us chosen ones, we destroy some of our ego in order to access our higher selves. But a lot of people can't do that because their ego is so front and center to that's all that they see. So you wonder why people attack you and do so many things. It's because They fucking themselves spiritually, but they don't know that because they can't see it spiritually. Just like we can't see ourselves for who we are spiritually, they can't see what's going on spiritually. You know what I'm saying? And every time they attack you, you're fighting back. Even if it feels like you're not doing nothing. Even if you're quiet while they cussing you the fuck out, they can be saying all kind of shit about you, and you just quiet and you cool and you collected, even though you feel hurt on the inside, even though you feel some kind of way, and you try not to let them know how you feel on the outside. At the end of the day, they still fucking themselves, and they pulling so much rope. They pulling so much rope to the point where they hang them damn selves. You ain't gotta hang them, cause they gonna do it when they fuck with you. When they fuck with you, they hang themselves automatically. That's an automatic death sentence. Basically, fucking with you. So if anybody does try to attack, it ain't successful. Because look where you at now. You so fucking smart. You so intelligent. You so full of life. You so full of wisdom to the point where can't nobody bring you down at this point. You too high. Shit, you like a hot air balloon. Ain't nobody finna try to climb up to that shit. You too high at this point. And the fact that you wail up there and they can't reach up there, they can't get up there, they pissed off. They pissed. But you gotta let these people, be like that. You really do. And that's just life. That's just how things are within this reality. Like you're gonna get attacked because the devil know who you are. The devil know who you are before the moment you came in this bitch. The devil wanted you. The devil had it out for you. And that's why a lot of us had these tough ass childhoods and sorry ass parents and sorry ass people in our lives who really serve no purpose. They're just fillers. You know what I'm saying? They just put us into a family that was not like us. And I ask myself all the time, like, damn, am I adopted? Because I used to think that. I'm not gonna lie. The way that I am, the way that I think, the way that I, articulate myself, I used to think like, damn, am I adopted? Like, who's my real family? Like, something don't seem right. Something don't seem right. And once I spiritually awakened and I realized, like, this isn't my real family. And I have a family that I really come from, but I don't remember because when I reincarnated back here, they take your memory. So you don't even remember your fucking name. You don't remember who you were before you came here. And that's a lot of us. We don't remember who we are. You know what I'm saying? But we starting to remember. We are. We are. Because this energy moving fast as hell. It's like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I can't even keep track of the days. I keep thinking it'd be Thursday, fucking Friday. I don't even know what day of the week it'd be half the time. That's how strong Christ is working. That's how you know time is being destroyed. And time really won't be a thing no more. You know what I'm saying? When you going through so much shit, is you worried about what time it is? When you going through so much trials and tribulations, is you worried about what time it is? No. And that's why time is speeding up, because time is no longer becoming a thing. It's going to be to the point where ain't nobody going to ask what day it is. Motherfuckers going to be trying to look for something to eat once this shit hit. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's finna lose a lot of shit. Everybody's finna lose everything. Once the second sun reveal itself, everything's finna be lost. So fuck the days the other week. Fuck time. Time at that point is really not gonna exist because ain't nobody gonna be asking what time is it. We so focused on surviving and survival mode. Fuck the time. So that's why Christ is speeding this shit up, because time really doesn't exist. And that's why we don't know when Christ is going to reveal itself. Because if time really existed, I feel like we would know the exact time and date when Christ was going to reveal itself. Yes, I feel that, Telly. I became more sensitive too. And when I say sensitive, it's not in a way of like hella emotional, but sensitive in a way of I feel so much energy. And I feel not only just energies, but everything. I feel the weight of the world on me. Cause I feel like it's just up to me to really save this shit. I'm not down here for no reason. I'm down here to really make a difference and make a change. And I feel that within myself. Ever since Christ revealed to me who I was, I felt like I was down here to make a change. Make something shake. Try to bring life into who we are. But a lot of people not really gonna listen to that. A lot of people aren't gonna be receptive to who who we are. And like I said, I was being sensitive. I always got picked on for being sensitive. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm a very like tender person, caring, nurturing. Like if you need something, I got you. That's the kind of person I am. I'm very sensitive, open hearted, kind of person. So the fact that I always been sensitive ever since a kid, I used to get picked on. I used to get told to stop crying, shut the fuck up. I used to get told to man up. You know what I'm saying? I used to get told to stop being so sensitive. Why you being so moody? Why you being so this and that? And I heard that all my life growing up. Stop being sensitive. You know, be tough, be this, be that. But in reality, like I don't want to be tough. That's not who I am. I'm not a mean person. Like I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be, aggressive because that's not who I am. I'm not really a aggressive ass person. I am who I am. But a lot of people wanted to tear me away from who I was originally. And I'm an emotional person. You know what I'm saying? I can't help that. But a lot of people are going to tell you to quiet down or tone down your personality so they can be comfortable. And it's like we're not here to make you comfortable. Because if it means not being my original self, if it means not me being authentic, then I can't be around you. Because if my sensitivity is fucking with you that bad, then obviously you're not meant to be around me at this point. Because I see my sensitivity as a superpower. I used to see my sensitivity as something that fucked me over all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because I was so open hearted. And yes, I had to learn boundaries. I had to learn how to not let people take advantage of me. And I had to learn how to, stop people pleasing and catering to what people wanted me to be and how people see me. You know? So the fact that my whole childhood I was told my sensitivity was a problem, now I'm seeing that my sensitivity was the main thing that helped me escape so much shit. Cause if I didn't have the ability to feel a lot of things within my life, I would have been dead. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I would have been in some crazy situations that I wouldn't know how to got out of because I didn't want to use my sensitivity. Not knowing that my sensitivity is a gift. I was given this sensitivity to feel my way out through life because I needed this. You know what I'm saying? And the devil know that you need your sensitivity, so they're gonna try to do so many things to attack it. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna attack the sensitive sides of you because they don't want that to be shown. They don't want that to be out in the world. They want you to be tough. You know what I'm saying? They want you to toughen up. But in reality is the toughest thing you can do is cry. Yes, crying, that's tough. Think about how a lot of people don't let themselves cry. A lot of people don't let themselves feel shit. A lot of people want to act like they don't feel nothing. You know what I'm saying? And when you don't and when you try to mask yourself like that, all of that feeling and all of the, negative energy basically gets stored into your body. And you start to feel that. You start to feel that energy. You know how you wanted to cry about something and you feel it like in your throat? Like you want to cry, but you holding it in and you feel it in your throat. It's not a physical feeling. That's energy waiting to be released. That's why you feel that when you're trying to hold back, your vulnerabilities, when you're trying to hold back who you are inside, it's going to start to leak out. It's going to start to leak out because that's who you are originally. And no one can really deter you or take you away from that. And you can't allow nobody to take you away from that. Yes, it is crazy how the chosen ones go through a lot of the same shit. And once I found out I wasn't the only one who went through a lot of my life experiences, like all of us, we went through some of the same experiences, but it was different situations for us. The situations were catered to the lessons that we needed to learn. But at the end of the day, we all learned lessons from these relationships that probably didn't serve us no good. You know, and when I found out that a lot of other, people were going through these situations, I didn't feel alone. I was kind of happy, like, damn, like there is a community out there that feels the way that I do, that thinks the way that I think. And I'm like, I was blown away because like I said, I never really knew nothing about spirituality, growing up because that wasn't taught in my house. I come from a religious household, going to church, believing in Jesus Christ, do all that shit. That's what I come from. So spiritual awakening wasn't talked about in my house growing up, you know. But once I started to, grow on my own and really figure out what life was and what life is, I can't look at it the same. It's like I can't put myself back in that 3D version of who I used to be because that version don't exist no more. That that sleep version don't exist at all. You know what I'm saying? That version of who we used to be, like I said, it don't exist. Trying to make sure I cut that off. Yeah, yeah, hell yeah. Once you stop people pleasing and you choose yourself, a lot of people gonna get mad at you. A lot of people gonna cut you off, if to be exact. Because that's what happened to me. Once I start choosing myself and stop people pleasing and stop giving people energy that I wasn't getting back, putting out everything, like I started to get more confident. I'm not gonna lie. Once I stopped people pleasing, I got a little bit more confident because I was living out of a place of authenticity, instead of masking who I really am, and not trying to be who I really am because I don't want people to judge the real version of me. So I put on this, fake version, this people pleasing version to feel accepted. And I feel like that's why a lot of people, people please. Because they want to feel accepted without verbally asking to be accepted, because it's hard. It's hard to ask for help sometimes. It's hard to want to put yourself out there. It's hard to want to be vulnerable. It's hard to give yourself to somebody who, you know, not necessarily that's going to fuck you up, but you've been so hurt in the past, it's hard to give yourself away to somebody like that. So the years of people pleasing comes from the ability to not ask for help, the ability to not, be your authentic self because your authentic self was never praised in your household. And that's where a lot of people pleasing tendencies come from. The person who we always wanted to be, the person who we are, was never praised, was never, acknowledged in our household. And that's why we became people pleasers. And that's why we, try to please other people instead of ourselves because we don't know how. And it's not that we kind of don't know how, it's that we're still trying to break free from that. We're still trying to break free from the mental enslavement that the Matrix has put on us. And people pleasing is one of those things, you know. Oh, But you said I could not cry for a long time. I recently stopped myself from crying. I caught it on live I did last week. Yes, see, like crying is powerful. And I feel like once you let yourself cry, I feel like you gain a lot of clarity out of it. You know what I'm saying? And I understand the feeling of trying to be strong, trying to keep it together. But the truth is, sometimes everything is not, you know, meant to be kept together. Everything is not meant to just be one way. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're going to have to spill what you don't want to spill. And that may be your emotions. You may not want to express yourself. You may not want to talk to nobody. You may just want to, be to yourself. But I feel like everyone has to have a way to vent. Everyone has to have a way to get something off their chest. Talking to yourself, yes, you can do that. Because I talk to myself every day, all day. You believe it or not. You know, I talk to myself more than I talk to people outside or my family sometimes. But I also know that I need a place to vent. I need people to vent to in a sense. And that's why I got my TikTok page, my YouTube page, because this is what helps me be vulnerable. This is what helps me, get out of my comfort zone or get out of my ability to not want to be seen. Because I dealt with that for so long. I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want to be in the public eye. But the fact that I didn't want to be seen, I was sacrificing not being able to vent, not being able to share how I really felt, not just on a physical level, but on a spiritual level too. And the fact that I come on here and get on live and make videos, this is my venting spot. This is where I can vent and other people can vent here too. This is not just where I vent. Y'all can talk too. Y'all can tell me y'all problems, how y'all feeling. If y'all going through situations, I can help y'all, and give y'all the best advice I can. And that's what I'm here to do. Yes, Telly, we is not finna let nobody use us again. Think about how you felt when these certain people were using you or these certain people were abusing you. Like, you felt like shit. And once you had enough of feeling like shit and feeling so low down about yourself, it's gonna come to a time where you just get tired of it. It's like everything is no nonsense at this point with you. Once you start to really figure out who you are and you start to walk in that, everything is no nonsense. You're not taking no BS from nobody because you're not taking BS from yourself. You know that whoever come into your life has to come correct because you're coming correct within you. And the fact that you come correct within yourself, that motherfucker that come into your life, they better come correct or they gone. Just like that. And that's how we have to be spiritually. Like if you're not with the shit, the door is right there. Out. Get the fuck out. Because we don't have time to waste our energy and settle for people who not gonna do shit for you. I'm telling you. A lot of shit that I did for people, they will not do the same shit for me. And I would be happy to do this shit for people. I would be happy to go out of my way to make people feel good. Because I'm not gonna lie, I love to make people feel good. I like doing that. I like sharing positive vibes. I like putting smiles on people's faces. I like making people laugh. I like, lightening up the mood. I love doing those things. But when you live in a world that's so chaotic, that's so draining, it doesn't want you to do any of those things. It doesn't want you to uplift the energy because the energy is so dense here. And that's what I want to get out of. I want to get out of that dense energy and be just high as hell in my Christ, like self. We have to let go of things that's not serving us. Yes. Release they ass. Get them out. You know? Cause keeping people around that doesn't serve your higher self, that shit gonna hurt you in the end. It's not gonna hurt them as much as you think. keeping them around, all that shit doing is hurting you. And when I was in a relationship with my ex, I could see that. I could see like me staying with this person was hurting me. It was fucking me up bad. But I didn't want to leave because I was, I didn't want to be alone in a sense. I'm be honest. I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to be by myself. I didn't want to feel lonely, but it was either stay in a relationship and keep continue to fuck yourself up and fuck yourself over knowing that this person is no good for you, because I knew she wasn't no good for me. You know what I'm saying? But I still chose to go back. I still chose to let her come back into my life, and do it again. Why? I don't know. It was just I was working out of desperation at the time. I was very desperate at the time. When I had met my ex, I was very desperate. So around that time when I was desperate, I was seeking somebody. I really wasn't seeking somebody, but I was, and she just happened to come into my life out of nowhere. Like, the fuck? And I think that's why I kind of had a little bit of an attachment to her, because she just came out of nowhere. It wasn't something that was just I found her. Like, no, we just kind of found each other randomly. And I think in that connection, that was the first time I was really like vulnerable in a sense. Cause I really don't I'm a private person. I think I told y'all this, but I'm a private person. I really don't let people know everything about myself. I'm not going to put everything out there for you to know unless I want you to know it. And this person that I was with, it's like I was happy to be with this person, but even though they was fucking damaging me, even though they was no good for me, even though I seen the red flags, I seen all of that shit. But it was like, damn, I couldn't bring myself to stop it when it needed to be stopped because it was past due. I knew that she wasn't no good for me, but I kept going because, like I said, I didn't want to be alone. But when Christ says it's enough, it's nothing you can do. Because when Christ finally decides to remove somebody out your life, there's nothing you can do to truly get that person back no more. And that's how me and my ex is. I can't go back to her, and I wouldn't. I wouldn't go back to her, not at all, because I'm trying to move forward at this point. It's no more backtracking. It's no more letting people back in. It's none of that. I'm trying to keep a straight path. So when Christ finally removes somebody out your life, it's going to be a final decision. And Christ is not playing. You know what I'm saying? Even when you don't want to let this person go, Christ is really going to make you do it. What the fuck? Yes, those people are takers. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm more of a giver. Like, I love to give, and I think that's why I attract so many narcissists. I'm be honest. That's why I attract a lot of narcissists, cause I'm such a giving person. Like, I give the shirt off my back. You know what I'm saying? To somebody. But even though I'm like that, and even though that, you know, being too nice has got me into some situations that I could have avoided, I still have a heart. I still don't want this world. I'm still not letting this world turn my heart cold because I've been through some situations. You know what I'm saying? Because when I meet the right person and when the right person come into my life, I'm not trying to hold on to that old baggage that I used to have. I'm trying to prepare for the next person that's coming in and the right person. And when this person comes into my life, they're gonna be the right person. There's gonna be nothing wrong about them. They're gonna check off everything that I look for in myself. I want to look for in that person too. You know, and it's gonna be hard because it's a waiting thing, and you have to be patient, when receiving something from Christ. But my patience kind of thin. My patience is getting kind of thin though when it comes to Christ. But at the same time, I also learned a lot going through these backwards ass relationships and friendships. You learn so much about yourself, and you see so many different perspectives that you didn't see before you got into these relationships with these people. If I never would have been into these certain relationships with these people, I never would have unlocked a parts of myself. I never would have got parts of myself. I never really would have knew a lot of things that I know now after the fact, you know? So it is a double-edged sword when you go through these certain experiences. Yes, they look bad, on the surface, but if you go deeper than that, if you go, to the spiritual lesson behind why you had to go through these certain things, you're gonna see like, damn, it makes so much sense why my life was on was such hard and hell, and why these relationships never worked, because these relationships was only a test to see how far you have came and how far you're trying to come. And I think, like I said, we go through certain things to test ourselves. You know, all of that shit was a test. And if you still here today, and if you still, and if you know who you are right now, obviously you passed it. You passed those tests that you've been through. And the fact that you passed those tests, you don't ever have to go through that shit again, because you know for yourself that you will not allow that shit to happen again. You won't allow nobody else to fuck you up like that no more again. Or even fuck yourself up because, you didn't have the discernment. But now that you have it, use it. Use the discernment. Now that you know who you are, now that you are aware, use that to your advantage, and don't let nobody take that from you at all. You know, never, never do that. Never give your power away. And that's what the world wants you to do. Your whole life, the world wants you to give your power away to people who are not worthy of having that shit. At all. At all. You know, Christ is a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But yes, Telly, yeah, never go back. Never go back to them old relationships. Never go back to them ways that don't serve you no more. And the reason a lot of us do go back, or take these people back, is because it was a certain void that these people, filled for us. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. I had a lot of voids. I had a lot of voids. And I think that through some of my friendships and relationships, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of using some of those people to fill my voids. I was kind of using some of those people to fill my voids, because I felt like I wasn't strong enough to, heal it myself. But little did I know, I was strong enough to heal these voids myself. And I am healing these voids, so I no longer need anybody outside of myself to heal these voids. You know, now I no longer need, external validation to heal these voids. Cause now I know that I gotta deal with this shit by myself. And I have to go through these things. I have to dissect myself and go through my vulnerabilities and go through my traumas and go through my wounds to figure out why am I here and why am I, living this life that I'm living. And I've gotten a lot of answers so far. Just asking questions about myself, you know? Asking a lot of questions. I used to always ask questions. You got to, especially living in this world. Now, asking questions is everything. I even use being a musician to yes. I feel that, Miss Holloway. You know, like even certain things that we like to do, we feel voids with those things. And I'm not saying that it's not okay because we are human. We gonna do that shit. The natural thing is to fill our voids because we want those things fulfilled. But I feel like the best thing to do is kind of go within yourself and see what you haven't looked at yet. You might know that there are certain things that you want to work on those things. If there's certain things that you feel like you can do better with, try to do better with those things. Don't pressure yourself. Don't stress yourself out about these things, but work on these things bit by bit. Move slow. Start with the little things. What can I work on right now that can make a change right now in this moment? And then you can focus on the bigger things. You can focus on, the bigger traumas that you got. But focus on, the small things right now and then build up to that. But yes, like I said, I used to use a lot of people as voids and place fillers because, I didn't want to heal those parts of myself yet. Or I really wasn't ready to heal those parts of myself yet. But now that I'm ready, I can fully do that. I can fully step into my healing and my growth. Yeah, most definitely does help with your growth. Telly, it helps, you know, and that's deep. That's deep. I think I think being being like very intelligent, it can leave you scarred in a sense because you get treated so different just because of how you think, just because of the personality that you are. And Christ didn't give us these personalities or these traits for nothing. It's like we are meant to really use everything that we've been through to keep fighting. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're going through so many emotional lessons and so many spiritual lessons, because we're meant to use these things to keep fighting, to keep going, to keep allowing ourselves to reach higher heights. It's like we can't stop at where we're at now because we're not really where we want to be at. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not where I want to be. Yes, I'm spiritually awakening. Yes, I have knowledge about certain things, but I still want to know more. I'm still willing to be in the student seat to learn what else Christ has to offer. Even though I come out here and I teach a little bit, I don't really teach, but I just speak how I feel, and see if I can help other people relate or if I can find other people that can relate. But Christ is going to give you certain things to do within this physical reality that is a part of your mission and your purpose that you didn't know was a part of your mission and purpose. A lot of us are walking in our missions and purpose right now, but we feel like, what is our mission and purpose? But you're living it, you're walking in it, you're already doing it. And I think that's what kind of discouraged a lot of people from starting their spiritual journey, because they don't know what lies ahead. It's like that, a mystery. But I feel like that's what made me kind of get on my spiritual journey, because it was the mystery of it. It was like I was curious. You know how you know about like a certain area that's like forbidden. Like they might have signs up that says don't go in this area. That's how I felt like spiritually. Spiritually, it was like don't go in this area. But the fact that it said don't go in this area, it made me want to, go in that motherfucker a little bit more and see like what are they trying to hide from us. And that's what I want to do. I'm a very curious person. Very. So it's like, what are they trying to hide? What are they trying to get us not to see? And curiosity has led me a long way. And I think that's why I'm kind of spiritual awakening right now. Because my curiosities. Mm-mm. Most definitely. Healing is something you just can't skip. It's just something you have to go through. And even when me and my even when I broke up with, a certain person, I couldn't just avoid that. Like I had to actually go through that. I had to actually feel everything and everything that relationship took me through. Even friendships, I had to feel that too. Even I kind of felt like a sense of betrayal. I'm not gonna lie. I felt the sense of betrayal, and it wasn't a sense of betrayal to where like they betrayed me. No, it's like I felt like I betrayed myself. I felt like I did myself a disservice dealing with these people. And when I felt like I was doing myself a disservice because I knew that these people wasn't shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like we know these people ain't shit, but we still try to get them the benefit of the doubt. We still try to see like, are they gonna make a change? And 9 times out of 10, we fuck ourselves because we're sitting there hoping and wishing and wanting to see if that person's gonna change or make a change or try to do something different. But 9 times out of 10, it's not really gonna work that way because we already know that the person is sorry and they not shit. So it's like, what else is there to see? What else is there to go off of? Because you already know who they are at that point. And Christ is gonna show you that. But a lot of us miss out on it, and a lot of us bypass it because we feel like we in control of it. But I feel like we're truly not in control of a lot of our life choices because we made our life choices already. So where does control really come in when you already lived through this process? You're just living out, seeing what decisions and choices you already made. And it was somebody on my page who was talking like we have free will and we have all of this and that. And I had comment back and I was like, free will free will doesn't really exist at all. There's nothing free will about this place. You know what I'm saying? Because everything you're doing and everything that you have done has already been done. So there is no technical free will. You're living an experience that you already signed up to live for. You're just seeing how did I get to where I ended up? How did I get with Christ? How did I end up with the Antichrist? How the fuck did I get trapped here? You're going through that remembrance process. We're starting to remember now who we are and who we once were. So yes. With that being said, damn, it's almost 12 o'clock. I think I've been on this live for 2 hours. Damn, I've been talking to y'all for 2 hours. I enjoyed myself though. I enjoyed all 2 hours of this shit. I really did. And I thank y'all for joining. Thank you for joining, Telly. Thank you for joining, Miss Holloway. I thank y'all for joining. I'm about to get off this live. I don't know if I'm gonna go to sleep. I might be up for a little bit, but I'm gonna get off this live though. Yes, appreciate you too, Miss Holloway. Thank you for supporting my live, supporting my page, subscribing, following me on TikTok. And I followed you back on TikTok. And I thank y'all for the support. You and Telly. KK wasn't on here today. But hopefully I see her, next time. That's my girl too. So I really thank y'all for joining. It's been a great conversation. I like this conversation that we had on live tonight. I think we went pretty deep this live. Will y'all agree? Yes. You welcome, Miss Holloway. You welcome. But yes, man. I love y'all. About to get out of here. I don't know when I'm gonna get on live again. But I'm gonna be on live soon because I love getting on live. I love talking to y'all. Like I love doing this shit. So I will be on soon. And make sure y'all have a good night and a good day. Cause it's almost a new day now. But y'all make sure y'all have a good day, good night. Love y'all.